How's it going, guys? My name is Voss, and if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Today we are in a 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302. If you're new to the channel, well, welcome. Today we are in quite something different than what I'm normally driving. This is a 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302, and what makes this special is, one, the paint. It's very unique, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But in addition to that, this is really was one of the starts to Ford's small engine, big power, agile race cars, essentially. And today, the Mustang platform has kind of transitioned into the electric, but in that period, we had the Boss 429, and then as the ages have come on, we've got the newer Boss 302 and the Shelbys. Boss 302 came out of the factory with about 290 horsepower, 290 foot-pounds of torque, and the 302 signifies the cubic inches of the engine, which is 302 cubic inches, and the displacement is somewhere around 4.8 to 5 liters. And what makes this special is it's made it to a 4-speed transmission, and the curb weight sits right around 3,200 pounds, and in 1970, that pushed this car from 0 to 60 in a little under 6 seconds, which might not sound like much for today's standards, but if you think of the time, that is, very impressive and very hard to do with a vehicle that was performance-oriented, but also, comfortable. It had bigger bucket seats. There were some options that came with the Boss, and overall, just a car that was a great cruiser that also packed a good performance punch. Talking a little bit about the color, and something interesting is you might think this is grabber orange, but it's actually not. It's a little bit different. It's called carousel coral, and again, don't ask me why they named it that. I think everybody was making interesting color names back there. But really, it's a very nice orange in person. It's a little bit darker. It's a little more sun-kissed, and it really pops out in the sun. I was able to get the drone out today, and it really does look very good. And something with this specific car that is a little fascinating is this is a original frame, rust-free frame, matching VIN for the engine, the trans. Everything on this car is original, and the paint actually was essentially a respray, and it was done down to the original, pretty much to match the original. So really, this car is about in as good a shape as you're going to get for something of this age. And it's got, just a tick over 57,000 miles, which is hardly anything. Talking a little bit about the interior, and you can see the iconic Mustang steering wheel, the Hurst shifter that we have. In addition to that, all of this leather on the bucket seats and on the back seats, this is all supposedly the original leather from 1970. Other than the dash on this vehicle, everything else in here is original. It even has the optioned Mustang radio, and overall, I'll have to share with you the window sticker. They don't have the original, but they have a newer version of it. But this car was a $3,800 car you could get some options, and it came out to somewhere in the $4,000 range. And what signifies that is when you added the Boss 302, it kind of came standard with the performance, the competition suspension, the better seats, and the transmission. And overall, this car really was bulletproof for its time, and it was really meant to handle a lot of performance for the money. At the point now where I've given you kind of all the numbers, and honestly, on a car like this, we're not here to talk about its daily drivability or its everyday capabilities. This is a proper muscle car, a true sports car that is, meant to be enjoyed when the weather is nice. And essentially today is a beautiful day here in Ohio, and we're going to take it out and just, it's got some quirks. It's a 4-speed. It's a little gas happy, for a clutch that's a softer clutch, but you really need to give it quite a bit of gas to get going. And I can't wait to show you guys how it drives, and then we'll wrap it up from there. So you probably won't be able to hear me very well in here. It's pretty loud, but that's okay. I'm gonna hit the parking brakes actually on the side on here, and then we'll put it into gear and we'll get going. There we go. I can't explain to you, this isn't quite a normal car, so the experience is gonna be so difficult to relate, but it's a proper muscle car, and it's a lot of fun. The 4-speed is honestly still it grips well, it goes to gear well, and overall, I'm pretty impressed. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, 0 to 60 happens in under 6 seconds, but in a car like this, it doesn't really matter how fast it goes. It makes some glorious sounds, and overall, I think no matter what speed you're going, I think you're going to be happy with just the experience and how it drives. Something different with this is this came standard with a long front nose. You could also option a shaker hood, but the shaker hood really wasn't what was used to race, so this really resembles the more race oriented car from the Boss. Going to conclude this very quick informal review of a 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 302, but the last thing I want to talk about is I have this guy right here, and essentially what this is it's not quite the window sticker from 1970, but at some point a Ford dealership printed one off, so it's newer and it's in good shape. But what I found, I just kind of want to share with you, is this car in 1970, the suggested retail price was $3,720, which is just insane. And then you add the Boss 302 is what this was. You get the V8, the bucket seats, the better suspension, different steering, different transmission, the diff changed, and what else here we got here? Some things, so those are all what was included, and then some stuff that was optioned on here was the diff, and like something that is just interesting is the rear deck spoiler, $20. The diff, $43. The sport slats, $65. The rear deck seat and the center console, $97.50. It's just crazy. So overall, this car came out to $4,302. And mind you, that's just obviously not comparable to today's standard, but it's just crazy. I don't know. I'll put here somewhere what that converts to. And something else that's interesting with this car is they made in 1970 a little over 191,000 of these, and of those, like only a quarter of them were the two-door Mustangs, and only some of them, you know, a few thousand of them were the Boss. And you just go down this list, and there's only like a couple with the matching VINs that are still, you know, out cruising around in this color. So it's just really incredible overall, and it's amazing how well this car has been preserved over the years. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know what you want to see next. And overall, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.